7 days to die. 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 Is it worth a buy? Well, let's read the skinny, guys. Let's just f***ing read it. Let's read. Right. Building on survivalist and horror themes, players in 7 Days to Die can scavenge the abandoned cities of the buildable and destructible voxel world for supplies or explore the wilderness to gather raw materials to build their own tools. No full stops in this. Weapons, traps, fortifications and shelters.
Guys, I've pretty much started again with this. This is why I've read the introduction again to the game from the developers. I did review the very first alpha of this back in November last year. I mean, that's nearly a year ago, guys. And I'm going to redo the whole review because this game has just pretty much totally changed since it was back then. So, we're going to start with, yes, it's a zombie game. Yes, it's a survival game. And yes, it's multiplayer. Co-op. It's got PvP if you want it, or you can turn it. You can change pretty much every setting you can think of on the server. You can change it from the amount of zombies to how the zombies react, how the zombies behave, whether people can see you on the map, whether people can do anything about you or other players. Can they shoot you? Can they not? Everything. You can change airdrop frequency. You can do. You have complete control over the server. You can even put in seeds for different maps to spawn. So yes, it's dedicated, yes, it runs great, and yes, it's full on multiplayer. What I want to really hit on with this game is the atmosphere, because there are a lot of survival games out there. There are a lot of zombie games out there. I mean, even Rust, although they've took the zombies out, let's be honest, it was a zombie survival game. And the atmosphere in 7 Days is better than all of them. There is no game that I've ever played, really, that has this kind of atmosphere. The sense of danger in this game is off the scale. It's just horrific at times. You fight for your life. It's now on the server when you play, you'll just say such and such has died, and it's like you just kind of think, I wonder how that happened. I wonder how horrible that death was. Were you just dying of starvation, running through the forests, being chased off savage dogs, or what? Or were you making a last stand in a little rickety wooden house that you'd just built? Because that's what happens in the server. I mean, there was me and my friend. We'd just come into the world. We had a lot of stuff on us. We had no camp. We had nowhere to live. But we couldn't cook. We needed a pan. We were desperate for a cooking pot for the fire so we could put the water in and the meat, the raw meat that we had, and boil it, because that's how you do it. It's full cooking and crafting in this. And we couldn't find a pot, so we ran for miles and miles and miles in these worlds, because the worlds now are randomly generated. And they're infinite. They just go on and on. They just keep generating as you run, so it never ends. Which makes it great as well. Which makes it amazing, because it's real. Because the world kind of doesn't run out when you're running. It never have I felt the sense of size like I have in this game. It's just insane. So we were running around looking for buildings, and eventually we stumbled across a couple of houses. And what I did, I made a load of noise and attracted the attention of the zombies while they ran in the house, searching frantically in the kitchen for a pot. We couldn't find one, and the zombies were just, there was so many of them, and we were very lightly armed. I just had a bow and arrow, like a crossbow that I'd made, and we just got overwhelmed, and we had to just retreat and run, and we were dying of starvation and thirst. I mean, it's all, we did eventually come across a pot, and we quickly cooked up we made some tea out of the plants that we'd picked, and the water. But even the water, you get the water in a jar from the river. You have to boil it to make it purified, because you'll get dysentery if you don't. I mean, this is a real survival game, guys. It's not just some arcade game. This is real deal stuff. You start with nothing. You have to find a stick, get a bit of grass, pick up a stone, and turn the stone into a bit of a point, like the cavemen used to do. Then you've got yourself a little axe, you tie the end with the twine to the stick and you've got an axe and you can start chopping down a tree and you get wood, and with that wood you can then make other things. You can make blocks to build a house, just like Minecraft. The building in this game is just brilliant. The digging as well, when you dig a hole in the ground, it's not like Minecraft, everything in squares. That doesn't happen. It just moves, the ground moves away like it would in reality. It's just incredible, this game, and you can craft so many different things. You find parts that you can make guns with. You can find full guns in people's houses. They have like a gun closet hidden usually behind a fortified wall. And when you're looting stuff, there's nothing worse than looting a gun cabinet which takes 30 seconds plus to open. And you can hear zombies coming in the back of the house because they've sensed you. And they're smashing the walls and the windows to get at you. And you're frantically at the gun cabinet, and you can see the timer ticking down, but you can hear the zombies are now in the house and the footsteps coming, but you don't want to leave the gun cabinet. You're desperate to see what's in, and you've got like 10 seconds to go. Then that's all, guys. It's fucking insane, this game. It's absolutely insane. But you've got to build yourself a shelter. You've got to have a fortified house with spike traps around it and things like that, because the zombies will come. They will come. They come in hordes. There's like hordes, randomly generated hordes, that you just be happily working in your house, then you'll just hear loads of footsteps outside, and you just take a peep out the window and you might see 50 zombies, a big horde of them just walking past, and you have to crouch down and keep perfectly still. You open a chest, you open a door, you hit anything with a hammer, they will hear you. But they don't see through walls, so as you crouch down, it tells you whether you're unsensed or sensed. And if you get sensed, if that horde sense you, they will rip your house apart to get at you. You have better got an escape plan, because if you get cornered in a house, you are fucked. And you've got to run. And I've seen houses, big houses, just brought to the ground by hordes of zombies. It's insane. So it's always a good idea to have maybe an underground escape or a rooftop escape, because they'll get to you. They won't stop ever until you kill them. You know, so it's brutal. It's depressing when you've spent a lot of time building a building and only see it ripped apart by zombies. You can change the characteristics of the zombies. You can make them feral, where they just go crazy. They can just sense you behind walls and everything. Or you can just put feral off, which I generally do. You can have them as World War Z zombies if you want, where they always run all the time. Or you can have it so that only at night, when the sun goes down, the zombies can run. Or you can have it the realistic mode, which I like, where they can never run. They shamble everywhere. It's awful. When they start shambling towards you guys, it's bloody awful, especially when there's a lot of them. It's just like when one gets in your house and he's just walking towards you, and then you miss with your crossbow. You just miss, and he's still coming. Then you miss again. It's like in the fucking movies. It's awful. It's brilliant, but it's awful. Then you've got the dogs. You've got these rabid, like, Doberman satanic hounds from hell that charge at you, and they rip you to pieces. It's awful. But once you get yourself armed to the teeth, find gun parts so you can build guns. The crafting is just insane. You build a forge and you smelt iron, and with the iron ingots you make all kinds of things, traps, weapons, better things for your house. You can decorate your house. You can find rob other people's houses, steal their TVs, their sofas, and make your house into a really nice plush pad if you wanted to. Or you can just choose to live rough in a wooden shack somewhere. There's cities, there's whole big cities to find in the maps. There's lakes, there's rivers, there's forests, there's snow areas, there's military bases. It's just, guys, it is one of the best games ever made. This is one of the best games ever made, and I've said it, and it just is. The only downer in this game is once you've got to a certain level, you're pretty much, well, what now then? But getting to that level, fucking hell, guys, it is amazing. But when you've got your house fully fortified, you've got everything you want in there, you've got a farm, you grow crops, and you cook your crops, you become fully self-sufficient. You know, once you get that, there is no end game, so to speak. It's just, I generally just start again, you know. But you can just keep going on and on and on. And if you're playing with a lot of friends, it is a lot more fun. So they've added a lot of stuff since I was last here. The full randomly generated world's been added, where you can put in a seed name and it'll create a world based on that seed. They've took away the mini-map, and instead you've got a compass, which is brilliant. The only thing is you can track friends on it, so if someone adds you to the friend list they can then track you. I'm not sure if I like that, because I like the whole idea of just stumbling upon people, but in a huge massive world that is quite hard. They've added a wasteland biome, lots more new locations have been added, city blocks, movie theatres, apartments, parking garages, parking lots, and sewer holes and things like that. They've added a lot of debuffs. You know, you can now get gored by the zombies and get a sprained ankle and stuff like that. So you get stunned as well. So there's a lot of, if you get hit by a zombie and get stunned, they rip you to pieces of the game. It's freaking hideous. So 7 Days to Die, sorry I've gone on a little bit longer than I normally do. It's an amazing game. It's still in alpha. It's going to be switching to beta very shortly now that they've released alpha 9. They're fixing a few bugs in it that are prevalent at the minute, like ceilings are collapsing when they shouldn't. But these developers are just, you read a lot about these early access games that have got lazy developers, but 7 Days to Die is not one of them. The fun pimps who make this game, they seem like a great bunch of people. They are not lazy. They haven't took the money and ran. They have took the money and they have hired more and built a fucking amazing game. And when this gets fully released and it's fully fixed, because they're still adding more shit to this, they're never satisfied. They're adding a lot more stuff to this, and I'll be back again to show you all this stuff in a few months' time. But by the time this game releases, wow, it's going to be great. But if you don't have this game now, get it, because it's fucking brilliant and definitely worth a buy.